Welcome back, friends. Lost Scarf here, and it's time for the Great Ace Attorney Chronicles. We're doing the side stories. We're going to do side story 5 and 6 this time. Alright, Great Ace Attorney. Boop. Not continue. Special contents. I believe it is... Not remember... Oh wait, actually one of them is Natsume, isn't it? Yeah, that one. Oh my god, Natsume. Okay, so first is this one. The Rants Magazine, Episode 5, at Naruhodo's Legal Consultancy. An escapade in Naruhodo's legal consultancy, where Susato appears to be rather irritated. Yet it seems Ryunosuke has been buying a little too much bric-a-brac, and now the whole place is brimming with things they don't need. And his latest purchase has really rocked the boat with Iris and Susato. Oh! Here we go. You know, some of these have not really been spoilery in any way. By the way, if you're watching last episode, which you should if you're watching in order, after all, the Daruma doll is that red thing in the middle there. That's a Daruma doll. 5th of March, 20:40 p.m., Naruhodo's Legal Consultancy. Hello, I'm back. I'm back. There you go. Oh, hello, Mr. Naruhodo. Did you have a good outing? Hi, Wuno. What's the matter? Your eyes are as big as dinner plates. I'm drunk. Iris, I wasn't expecting to see you here. I've just made some tea, Miss Naruhodo. Would you like a cup? A cup or two, yes. Definite tea. He's totally drunk. Alright, Wuno, what's going on? You're acting strangely. What? Me? No, not at all. I'm as normal as normal can be. Normal at tea. See? It helps, see? Not again, Mr. Naruhodo. Okay, I'm pretty sure he's drunk in the Japanese version so far. Huh! Sorry? Not what again? What do you mean, Susie? Whenever he goes out on his own lately, he always seems to come back with a peculiar new purchase. Peculiar? Peculiar? What's peculiar about things I've bought? You seem to think that anything British is a curio you simply must have. You keep buying items of bric-a-brac even though you don't know what they are. Well, there are rather a lot of bric-a-brac shops and pawnbrokeries and I like around here. It's when I've been to Lord Strongheart's to give my weekly report, I'm always so nervous beforehand. On the way home, I just find myself in those shops and... Yes, alright, I can't deny it. I've bought something. You're right, you can't deny it, because your eyes are wider than ever. You really ought to put up a warning sign about them. They're bigger than some potholes around here. Jesus. It's hard to resist things in the bric-a-brac shop. It's all so cheap. Mr. Sholmes has given me lots of useful advice about how to pick out the real bargains. You must remember, Wuno, that Hori likes to have fun with you. Take his advice with a big pinch of salt. Well, that's true. That thing he told me was a pot stand wasn't a pot stand at all. But I'd never have guessed it was a collapsible top hat. No, and I'd never have guessed that you could fill up this once-empty room so quickly. We must contact Marie Kondo. Honestly, it's overflowing with things we don't need now. I mean, look at those scales. Not once have you weighed something on them. That's for justice! I know, but ever since I first stood at the defense bench in court, I don't know why, but... I just really wanted my own little set of scales. Let's see it then, Miss Naruhodo. What have you come home with today? Oh, well, it's, one of these. What is it? It looks like Dwayne shoved up in a ball. Looks so shoved up in a ball. Really, Miss Naruhodo? What is it? It's a sea anemone! Oh, why did you buy a sea anemone? An anemone? Yes, I mean, I know it doesn't look like it at the moment. It's all shriveled up, like you said. Aren't sea anemones living creatures? The ones that dance around on the seabed? Yes, exactly! The ones that dance about on the seabed! Oh, they sell sea anemones in bric-a-brac shops here in Britain. I don't know whether they normally do or not, but I do know that I bought one today. He's drunk. But why, Wono? Well, yes, for the aquarium, of course. Aquarium? I don't know that word. Well, according to the shopkeeper, keeping sea creatures in tanks was hugely popular here in London before. Oh yes, some people have some beautiful fish in seawater tanks at school. Having an aquarium became popular because the old glass tanks was abolished. There it is again, rearing its ugly head, the subject of taxation. It was a real craze for a while. Everyone in London had one. For a while? Yes, it didn't last long. People's enthusiasm soon waned. It's just far too much work to be changing the seawater regularly in a city like London. Never a truer word said, I'm sure. You think people might have realized that from the start, really, wouldn't you? Anyway, that was long before I was born. So now everyone jokes that there's an unloved aquarium covered in dust in every attic in the capital. And it's true! There's one in this attic, too! When I told the man in the bric-a-brac shop about it, he had these words of wisdom. That's why this is the age of the sea anemone, and that made a lot of sense to me. He is so drunk. It made sense to you, did it? Well, I don't know. This anemone is completely dried up. You just need to soak it in water overnight and it'll be as good as new. That's what the man said. I'm not sure that it works in the same way as dried wakame seaweed, Mr. Naruhodo. Once I've saved some money, I'm going to buy some prawns to keep this little Philip company. Oh, how exciting! Abyss will be teeming with life. Will it really? Britain is a funny country, though. I mean, a sea anemone craze. Well, they say people in glass houses about comments like that here, Mr. Naruhodo. Don't forget that there was a very curious rabbit craze in our own country not so very long ago. A mortifying chapter that people will try to erase from the history books 100 years from now, I'm sure. You know, there was another craze as well before the aquarium one. I have no idea if any of this is accurate in any way. Have you heard of Wardian cases? Wardy what? No, I've definitely never heard of them. They were little glazed cases for growing plants indoors, I believe. Oh, I see! For plant lovers to raise their favorite tropical plants. That's right, like different types of ferns. Ferns? Do you mean those rather dull plants with lots of fronds for leaves? They're not dull at all. Ferns are lovely plants. I think people wanted to recreate the exotic foliage of the tropics in their own homes. So they grew ferns? I mean, ferns, sea anemones. Londoners certainly have a knack for the obscure. Well, thinking about it, my grandfather loved the moss on his bonsai. He looked after it better than the trees. It seems like the more obscure something is, the more it interests people. Maybe. Anyway, the Wardian case quiz didn't last very long. Now, what's those little glass cases are just gathered dust, I believe. Yeah, I wouldn't guess. But I haven't seen one in your room, Iris. Oh, there we have 7 of you, Susie. Yes, that's right. Mine's certainly not gathering dust. I grow tropical herbs in it. Well, Miss Naruhodo, I really must ask you to stop all this frivolous buying of strange things. Yes, alright, sorry. It's just that, well, think of Mr. Sholmes' room. He has all sorts of peculiar trinkets lying around. Oh, well, yes, that's true, and they seem to be growing in number. Recently I've noted a blowpipe, a few barrel crystals set in a twisted piece of gold, a gold-rimmed pince-nez. I spotted a small gramophone record in there the other day, so I slipped it onto the gramophone. But it was just a whispering voice saying, Norbury! And nothing more! What the hell's that? What could it possibly be about?
Those are all mementos of cases that Hoey's solved over the years.
Exactly! That's what I want to create in here. Is that sort of atmosphere. Well, did you solve the case of the scales?
Ah, a room full of meaningful trinkets, each with their own unique history, you mean?
Yes, that! I knew you'd understand, Mr. Sato.
But, Mr. Naruhodo, none of the things you've bought for the room have any connection with any of our cases.
Oh, don't they?
Well, for example, take that splendid but rather weather-beaten top hat. That wasn't used as evidence in any of the cases we've worked on, was it? Oh, you have 2 top hats if you count the collapsible one as well?
No, the collapsible one is a pot stand, as far as I'm concerned anyway. No! No, it is not. But the other day, when we were in court, they were everywhere, weren't they? They were. Top hats, I mean.
Well, here in Britain, of course, they're the mark of a true gentleman, so that's highly surprising. If a man isn't wearing a top hat when he ventures out of the doors, he'll be looked down upon.
It's like looking at a man not wearing pants, I guess.
Gosh, it has very strict rules, doesn't it, the English Gentleman's Code?
I've been wondering how I'd look in a top hat recently. After all, my university uniform is black as well, so I think it would be very in keeping.
Oh, what a good idea. Go on then, Bruno, try it on.
Okay. Do we even see him in the top hat? We're not going to see him in the top hat, are we?
The lesson here, I suppose, is that the juxtaposition of suit and gentleman is just so strange and wrong.
Well, I'd rather it didn't suit me anyway. I mean, these hats are ridiculous. I'd be willing to bet every foreigner who sees one of these and for the first time thinks exactly the same thing. Why is that man wearing a chimney on his head?
People in glass houses, remember, Bruno?
What do you mean?
Well, what about Japanese? Chonmage top knots. Those haircuts are the height of ridiculousness.
True.
At least you can take a hair off. Once you have a chonmage, it's choned your head for good.
Oh my god, pun!
I'd be willing to bet every foreigner who sees a chonmage for the first time thinks exactly the same thing. Why is that man wearing a cannon on... Why is that man wearing a cannon on his head? I suppose that's what it means to have different cultures, isn't it?
I suppose so. On the subject of hats, the one Mr. Sholmes always wears is really very strange, don't you think?
I beg your pardon, Mr. Naruhodo? What a thing to say! That has the very essence of Mr. Sholmes. Yes, without his deer stalker, the great detective would be unrecognizable.
It's called a deer stalker? That's a surprisingly swanky name.
It's that of a hunter, just like the flat cap. I made up my mind long ago to visit Regent Street and buy one for myself.
I'm not sure it's going to fit over your hair.
Well, I think it's perfect for a great detective who stalks his criminal Bowie. But you'd think he is strange about it anyway.
Well, you've seen it. There's 2 brims, one on the front and one at the back. Why do you need 2 brims on a hat? Surely one at the front is enough, no?
One moment, please.
If you ask me, it's just Mr. Sholmes' madcap personality coming through. I bet it's so that he doesn't have to think about which way around to put it on or something like that.
Mr. Sholmes does not have a madcap personality. He always has a clear head.
No, he doesn't. No, he doesn't.
Deer stalkers were made for hunters who had to hide in thickets when they were stalking their prey. The brim at the back was designed to stop the stalks of plants scratching the back of their necks.
Oh, so that's the reason.
Thank you, Iris, for educating us.
Mr. Sholmes doesn't spend a lot of time in thickets, though, does he?
Well, no, that's true.
I'm telling you, it's just his impetuous in personality. That's my theory, and I'm sticking to it. Firmly. Ah, here you all are. Oh, good afternoon, Mr. Sholmes.
I've not long since made some tea, Mr. Sholmes. Would you like a cup? I see I've come at a good time, Mr. Sato. Thank you. Now, I have something I should like you all to see. I designed myself a brand new Great Detective's hat.
What the? There's a brim!
At the front and at the back. And at both sides. 4 brims in total. Your observation is quite correct, my dear madam. I'm a busy man, you see. But with this hat, whichever way I put it on, I shall always have it pointing the correct way. Oh. With my previous hat, I could, on an impetuous moment, wear it airlessly with the brims on either side. Like a Canadian.
That's impressively clumsy, I would say.
And I must regretfully say, I think your madcap theory was correct after all.
But really, Mr. Sholmes, with brims on all 4 sides like that, wouldn't it just be better to wear a top hat instead?
Oh yes, then however you put it on, you'd have a brim it all around.
What? So true, so true.
How could I have been so blinkered to this fact until now?
Well, fortunately, I happen to have 2 top hats here. If you just lift the pot off of it, you're welcome to try that one there.
Indeed I shall, my good fellow. Much obliged.
You're gonna see him on a top hat? Nope. Gotta go with the gut.
Oh dear, Hoey, it looks terrible. More terrible than I could possibly have imagined.
Oh, that's not good. Maybe it's because of your long face. Paired with the tall head, it's just... doesn't work.
Well, I think it's very nice, Mr. Sholmes, even if it will have the whole world in fits of laughter.
Ah!
I should never have meddled with it.
Give me a deer stalker for evermore. And give me my Regulation University hat for evermore.
There's still hope that you'll graduate one day, Miss Naruhodo. Don't give up.
Wow! Okay, Mr. Sato, dang. Now it's time for Chapter 6, or number 6. Mr. Natsume's Room. Episode 6 of Mr. Natsume's Room. In this escapade in Mr. Natsume's room, it is revealed that the Japanese scholar was once a teacher of English. He has much to say in the cultural differences between Japan and Britain, and as well as on sentimentalities, Shakespeare and Cyclone. Well, this voice is going to be nuts to do. It's been at least 1 or 2 months since I've done this voice. Holy balls! Okay, here we go. 23rd of February, we're going back in time. 6:09 p.m., Mr. Natsume's room. Why are we doing it out of order, I wonder?
So, Mr. Natsume, are you really returning home? To Japan?
Yes, indeed I am. Everything is arranged already.
Well, I'll be sad to see you go. And Dr. Wano worked so hard to prove your innocence as well. What a shame. It feels like it was all a wasted effort.
Don't say that! I know what you're suggesting. Now calm down, Mr. Natsume. It's all fine, really.
You are in good company here, sir. If you fear the Reaper, you needn't hide the fact.
I'm a proud citizen of the Empire of Japan. I'm not a scaredy cat! Talking of cats, Mr. Sholmes just casually threw one among the pigeons there. What? A man like me belongs to Japan, not here. That's what I've come to realize.
I wonder. A mustache such as yours is eminently suited to London, I would say.
There goes Mr. Sholmes throwing another cat in. The moment I arrived in the city, I noticed. Everyone in London laughs at me behind my back, like hyenas. Historical hyenas hahing horribly.
I'm sure that's not true, Mr. Natsume.
Oh, but it is. Whenever I turn around and peer down the fog-filled streets, all I see is foreigners everywhere.
Well, there's you, Wono, and Susie in here. So there's 3 foreigners out of 5. I take their point.
Only the other day, I was taking a stroll through the fog as usual, when a young man approached me for a head. He was pale and gaunt, his back arched like a cat. Observing his wretchedness moved me so deeply. I thought to myself, I'm not the only one suffering in this hell.
But do you know what? Can you imagine? It was just my own reflection in a shop window. A stunning, stinging, stupefying surprise! Don't forget slap in the face. Everyone started laughing at me. Gentlemen thereabouts, ladies passing by. Even the man in the shop window! Ah, yes, and a certain great detective would like to be included among the mirthful. Ah! Mrs. Sholmes is really going for Saseki-san today. Saseki-san. Well, I for one think you're a very handsome man, Mr. Natsume. There, did you hear that? This 10-year-old girl thinks you're handsome. Isn't that wonderful? That makes me feel suspiciously warm inside. He looks genuinely delighted. The point is, you Japanese are humble and modest. Studying on foreign soil, surrounded by foreign people. How could anyone possibly enjoy that? We're the foreigners here, guy. No one could, it's impossible! If you're a genuine Japanese. Racism everywhere. If you say so. Actually, it would appear that there is someone. A Japanese man who studied in a foreign country and seems to have thrived on the experience. There is? Mr. Ogai Nori. I believe he studied in Germany. Ogai Mori. Mr. Mori, pray tell us more of the fellow. Well, today he's a very successful author in Japan. Oh, I've heard of him. He's the professor who wrote My Hime, isn't he? My Princess? My Hime? I suppose in English the title would be Dancing Queen. Maybe? Oh, I see. A terrible woman who was to wade through the world, perhaps. You really needn't make up a silly translation, you know. It's all officially called The Dancing Girl in English. But Hime means princess. Or does it mean royalty? No, Hime means princess. Want to be like Kanojo for girl? It seems Mr. Mori greatly enjoyed his time in Germany. He became close to the local lady while he was there. Close, you say? With a local lady? A compatriot's criminally contradictory conduct? Well, I suppose your experience of studying abroad depends on a large extent on your character. To a large extent. Ah, so they say. Many men, many minds. Mr. Mori has an open mind, Miss Natsume, a closed one. Possibly a slightly black and white view, do you think, Mr. Sholmes? Well, anyway, if that's how you feel about being abroad, why did you choose to study here? Wasn't it to further our nation's understanding of the English language or something? Yes, that's right. So what were you doing in Japan before you came to Great Britain, then? I was a school teacher, of English, of course. A bit cursory, perhaps, but I've managed to discover some information on Mr. Natsume's teaching days. How? That's just a little outside the field of law, isn't it, Mr. Sato? Well, let me pose you a question, Mr. Naruhodo. If you had to translate the English phrase, I love you, into Japanese, what would it become? That's easy! Ashiteru, or sukides, or skides. Well, skides means like, I like this, or I like it. Well, ashiteru means, that's the closer one I think to love, would be ashiteru. I say this because of any anime I've seen with the word ashiteru, they put love in there. Well, ski means like. Daisuke's big like, which is usually say you like somebody. Wrong! According to Mr. Natsume's teachings, at least. What? Would you like to explain, Mr. Natsume? Yes, of course. Your research was very thorough. I always used to tell my students that we Japanese don't express ourselves that way. Rather, we might say... Suki ga kirei desu ne.
Suki ga kirei desu ne. I can't remember what some of that means. My dear Mr. Natsume, I must interject. Suki ga kirei na desu ne would translate to the moon is beautiful, isn't it? Ah, there it is. Yeah, the name makes a question mark. I was wondering. I know that! The point is that we Japanese are reticent when it comes to expressing our emotions. We prefer to show our feelings of adoration, our ski, by appreciating the beauty of the moon, the Suki. That's what I was wondering, so it was a pun. Okay. Using the Suki to express ski. It's an amusing play on words, I see. Japanese love their goddamn puns. No, in language you might understand better. Bad Sholmes! It's not a play on words, it's subtle, it's humble, it's fleeting and beautiful. It's art! Isn't it just being shy? Yep. My dear fellow, the foreign dancing girl will forever be out of your reach with such an attitude. Imagine how the great Mr. Mori would act. He would win the lady's heart in a flash with a well-placed and unrestrained I love you. That's smooth, Mr. Mori! Am I destined to live in his shadow forever? Just what sort of man is he in that imagination of yours? The fact is, I just can't settle into this foggy London town with all its foreign inhabitants. I've lost count of the number of different lodgings I've tried before I found myself here. As it happens, I even lived on Baker Street at one time. No, really? A Sao scholar lives near there, a man by the name of William James Craig. His knowledge of Sao is unsurpassed. He's been a great inspiration to me over the... I just think his knowledge of SAO is unsurpassed. Forgive the interruption, but am I supposed to be familiar with the Sao of which you speak? It's Shakespeare, of course! Shakespeare! In Japanese, we write it as a Sao. Sa and O. It's a phonetic representation using kanji characters, so England is Igirishu, and America is America. Yeah, phonetic using this would be katakana, of course. England is Igirisu. 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 America is America. America. America is easier. Come to think of it, we use the same character as Ri in one word and Risu in another. Talk about confusing. Depends on what we're trying to say anyway. So Shakespeare is Sao in Japanese. Presumably the Sao is a brutal attempt at the first Sha. In which case, where is the Shakespeare? I never thought of that. We only have the O left. Which could, even in the most charitable interpretations, only be a brutal attempt at old man. It seems to me that whoever had the job of deciding on the character of his name got bored very early on. Complete kanji character catastrophe! So then, on to the burning question. What about me? How do you write my name? So, Ohms... sorry? Herlock Sholmes, my dear fellow. There must be a Japanese characters for my name. Hey, Raku Sholmes. Probably? Oh dear. I am sorry, Mr. Sholmes, but none exist that I am aware of. What? Am I really nothing to you, Japanese? In that case, it is a matter of paramount importance. You must construct my name in kanji at once. They mean katakana! They mean katakana! Oh, well, we could use a kanji that's pronounced so to start with. And then use one more to give so-o. Perhaps? I think that would be about right, Mr. Sholmes.
But that's almost the same as Sao, isn't it? Sao.
Yes, you employed the dreaded O. I don't want people to confuse me with an old man who died centuries ago. I'm sure the world's greatest literary figure would rather not be confused with you either.
Well, the world's greatest detective is still youthful and full of vigor. How about so handsome? Oh yes, that sounds wonderful. I'm sure...
Okay, I was doing Iris instead.
Oh yes, that sounds wonderful. I'm sure everyone will be calling you that 100 years from now.
They will not. How can she say that with a straight face?
What about me then? Iris? Perhaps Ahime, since the second character doesn't seem to matter.
It totally matters! Iris would be, yeah, Irisu. That's just easy enough right there. Irisu. Yeah, Irisu. That's it. Irisu.
Ahime? Oh yes, Princess of Love. That's an adorable name for you, Iris.
Stop, please! With a name like that, Mr. Mori is likely to turn up at any moment and rashly declare I love you. This Mori-san has become quite a character in Soseki-san's mind. And you, Mr. Naruhodo, might I venture Kurobozu as a fitting name for you? As in the Dark Monk? One sec. Is there a pun here? No, these guys have real names. But Soseki... No, not Ozeki, forget it. Ozeki's a rank in sumo wrestling. I think something with Mori is a rank in sumo wrestling, too.
Oh, that's very good. It describes you perfectly, Mona.
So you think I'll be wearing this black varsity uniform for the rest of my days, do you?
Yep. But Mr. Naruhodo already has a Japanese name. I don't believe he needs another. Well, anyway, we were talking about your wife here in London, weren't we, Mr. Natsume? You should just get out and have fun.
The landlady has said as much to me, too. Miss Garridib? But it wasn't fun at all. It was frightful.
Whatever do you mean?
A cycle incident! An incident? On a bicycle? Oh yes, come to think of it. Oh, the bicycle, right, that, right. There's an old bicycle parked just outside, isn't there? It's in a sorry state, though. I tried to say no to her, but she insisted I took it for a ride. Perhaps my pronunciation was wrong. So I took my life in my hands and attempted the ride to steal Spiderweb Stallion to a nearby park.
I don't think there's anything wrong with your pronunciation, Mr. Natsume.
Joan Garridib just isn't the kind of woman to take no for an answer. With her cheek physics. If you're going to die, you might as well die in beautiful surroundings. The park was my first thought. After a whole day of dicing with death, I emerged with only relatively minor bruises. So you got the knack of it? Don't be silly. Dying isn't something you can learn to do.
Mr. Natsume, you keep talking about dicing with death and dying and so forth, but riding a bicycle is supposed to be fun.
Oh no, that's just what people tell you. But it's an old wives' tale.
Is it?
I mean, just consider the real name of the vehicle. It's not called a dicycle for nothing. Oh, he doesn't... Okay. How anyone expects to use such an aptly named vehicle to move our forwards beyond me? Pedal power promises pain!
I didn't think it was possible to get worse with practice.
I'm lucky to be alive! Although, I must say, after looking death in the eye for a whole week, I did at least manage to mount the steed reliably. And notwithstanding a few wobbles, I found I could make progress in the forward direction. Ah, what a triumph!
Deduction is much the same. When first presented with a problem, the mental exertion of trying to solve it leads only to bitter disappointment. But after a week of picking one's way carefully along the path of reasoning and thought, one begins to see results.
So is that why all of your off-the-cuff deductions always seem half-baked?
What a wonderful insight into your extraordinary mind, Mr. Sholmes.
Unfortunately, after wobbling down the street, I noticed there was little stones everywhere. Death traps. Not that way, I said to myself. But the wild vehicle wouldn't listen. It wobbled me out and down the street. Oh, so of course I hit one of those deadly stones, and the crazy cult threw me. It's just my luck. Bicycles are the epitome of my pitiful life.
I wish I could disagree.
On the same subject, I'm sure there's a famous American author who's written about having a similar experience.
Oh yes, I've read that essay too, Iris.
Some of us are better read than others. Well, no more bicycles for me.
Oh, Mr. Natsume, at least you have an interesting anecdote to take with you back to Japan, if nothing else.
You always manage to put a positive spin on things, don't you, Mrs. Sato?
Personally, I haven't mounted a bicycle for some time.
No, me neither. That's good.
So how about a jaunt? We shall all ride out together.
Huh? That sounds great. I'll perch behind Mrs. Sato. What? What? The sun is going down! It will be pitch black before long! London street lamps are very bright, you know, and the fog isn't too thick today. And my beloved ride is all bent out of shape!
My dear fellow, if you are bound to topple the vehicle anyway, it's fitting that it's already bent out of shape.
It's settled then. Come along, Miss Natsume. Shall we go? What is wrong with you people? Suki ga kirei desu ne.
Don't tell me that's his translation of no thank you as well. Indeed, Mr. Natsume, the moon is at its most beautiful at precisely this time of the evening.
Oh. We're not Japanese, you can't beat a one in the bush with us. What a weird and wonderful world! Is that how it ends? Yeah, that's how it ends! Oh my god, okay, that's weird. That was weird. Kanji are the ones with the more complicated characters that say a lot of things, like the symbol for Eki, which is a station. You would go train station, but like for a station is a complicated character. It's complicated kanji. Things like that. Next time we be Briar Road and the Bailey. So I gotta try to remember the voice for this freaking guy. And there we go. So that right there is the game for now. I have fun if I'm watching. That's what's all about it. Having fun. Thanks for coming by, and see you next time.